A pilot made the terrible mistake of calling the police on a black boy, only to find out that his dad was the FAA administrator. You won't believe how humiliating the situation was for him. It all started when a white pilot was flying his plane and he noticed a black kid, who was just 12 years old, sitting in the airport terminal. The boy was wearing a bomber jacket and a cap, and although he looked like a kid, his appearance suggested otherwise. The pilot thought to himself, "Who does this kid think he is? He looks like a drug dealer." The pilot decided to take action and call the police. He told them to come to the airport and look for a black kid wearing a bomber jacket and a cap. The police arrived and arrested the kid without any further questions. They must have thought that the pilot was a reliable witness, since he was a well-dressed man in his 60s. The pilot felt good about himself because he thought he had done the right thing. However, he had no idea that this kid was the son of the FAA administrator. The police brought the boy into a separate room to question him. They asked him why he was in the airport terminal, and he told them that he was waiting for his dad to pick him up. The police were confused because they didn't know who his dad was. The boy said, "My dad is the administrator of the FAA." They had no idea that they had just arrested the son of the FAA administrator. Meanwhile, the boy's dad was on his way to pick him up. He was a tall, well-built black man with a kind face. The police quickly apologized to the boy and let his dad take him home. The boy's dad was furious when he heard what had happened. He could unbelieve that someone would call the police on his innocent son just because of the color of his skin. The next day, the pilot was flying his plane when he heard a voice over the radio. It was the FAA administrator. He said, "This is the FAA administrator. I want to talk to the pilot who called the police on an innocent kid." The pilot was nervous when he heard this. He knew that he was in trouble. The FAA administrator asked the pilot why he called the police on his son, and the pilot tried to explain. But the FAA administrator wasn't having it. He said, "I don't want to hear your excuses. You have violated the rights of an innocent kid, and I am going to punish you." The pilot was scared. He knew that he had made a terrible mistake. The FAA administrator then did something that no one expected. He said, "I am suspending your pilot's license, and I am banning you from all airports." The pilot was shocked. He couldn't believe that the FAA administrator was punishing him so severely, but he knew that he deserved it. He had made a terrible mistake, and he was lucky that the FAA administrator was a fair man. The news of the pilot who called the police on a black kid quickly spread. Everyone was talking about it. Some people said that the pilot was racist, while others said that he was just trying to look out for the safety of the airport. But in the end, it didn't matter what people said. The pilot knew that he had made a terrible mistake, and he was lucky that the FAA administrator was an unvindictive man. He could have revoked his license and put him in jail, but instead he just banned him from airports and made him pay a fine. This story teaches us to be careful of the stereotypes that we hold. Just because someone looks like a certain way doesn't mean that they are a certain way.